Hello, hello, hello. I'm Josetta Yvonne, your book bae, coming on with a quick book chat today. I hope this video finds you well. So recently I wrapped up one of my first autumn reads, and it is called Beneath the Harvest Moon. It's a small town romance, and it was actually recommended by another YouTuber. It's two sisters, and their channel is called Sip and Read. And I really enjoyed this book. It was a new to me author by L.B. Gaines, but it was the perfect start to fall. It is a nice autumn romance, and it is based on a small town. Now, this is the author here on the back. It wasn't super long. It was actually quite short. It was only 200 pages. She was very descriptive, and I truly enjoyed it. It was a easy to read, pretty fast pace. Sometimes a little bit more fast paced than I expected it to be because of how some things transitioned. But overall, it was a nice read, and nice to see someone win at the end. So let's get into it. So the back says, Sade Morgan's world is built on soul, sacrifice, and the unwavering love she has for her son, Eli. As the owner of a beloved pumpkin farm in Statesville, North Carolina, she's long since traded in dreams of romance for harvest seasons and hay rides. But when Lorenzo Tate, her childhood best friend and first love, returns to town after a failed marriage, his quiet strength stirs everything she thought she had buried. As the crisp days of fall settle in and the scent of cider and wood smoke fills the air, long forgotten feelings begin to surface. But beneath the golden leaves and late night bonfires, unresolved wounds and painful truths press in around them. Just as Sade begins to hope for a second chance at love, the past resurfaces with questions that could change everything. Tangled in tenderness, slow-burning romance, and the resilience of a small town in autumn beneath the harvest moon is a heartfelt story of healing, homecoming, and the courage it takes to let love in when it matters most. First off, I have to say how beautiful the cover is. I think that the artist or whomever did this did a excellent job. It definitely gives you the warm, cozy vibes. And I guess it's just all the cowboy stuff out right now. It definitely makes you smile. I loved how she describes it here at the beginning, that it's a romance story that hits like a 90s R&B. And I guess because right now 90s R&B is so hot, everybody's returning to the 90s with their hairstyles. I even did a video about fashion from the 90s that's re-emerging. Makeup, the 90s is just back. So yeah, I love that she mentioned the romance hits in R&B. So the next thing that I found quite interesting that I loved here is that she made a dedication here. And her dedication was to For the women who think they have to carry everything alone, for the men who help to lessen the load, for the children between them who remind them both that love, when chosen, can grow into forever. And I thought that was the most beautiful dedication. I don't know why it just warms my heart when she said that, but it did. Maybe because I've seen so many women that feel like they have to carry the load by themselves, even when they're not by themselves. But it was a nice reminder. And it just felt so heartfelt. I also loved how she kind of included part of her personal story, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But here she says, Sade's journey is deeply personal to me. It echoes the moments we've all faced. Moments when we've felt abandoned. When we've clung to hope. When we've looked in the mirror and questioned our worth. I wanted to honor the resilience of mothers, the tenderness of genuine partnership, and the slow burning ache of rediscovered love. So she was writing all of this beautiful stuff before the book even started. So I was already smitten with the author before I even began to read it. And so in her acknowledgments, she says, and to my husband and life partner, Marcus, thank you for loving me with your whole heart, for supporting every long writing night, and for believing in the light even when I was stuck in the dark. This book is ours too. So I thought it was the sweetest, sweetest thing. I also like that at the beginning she includes a playlist, which I intend to pull up and listen to. Because I don't think I've seen that in a long time, if ever, where an author has included a playlist. And so one of the songs is Whiskey Blues by Tanner Adele. One is Blackbird by Beyonce, Tanner Adele, and Brittney Spencer. She even put Tennessee Whiskey by T-Pain. And then she has one called Down by the Riverside by Willie Jones. But there's several more. She references like country singers, Black country singers in the book as well, and those songs. So I definitely want to check those out. Because I don't think I know any Black country singers off the top of my head, besides, of course, now that Beyonce has got into the country music, and K. Michelle, she was doing some country music. But outside of those two ladies, I don't think I really know of any Black male or female country singers, and I like that she named some inside the book here, and I want to check those out. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's like she has Shabuzi, so I guess that may be considered. No, it's Shabuzi. No, he's not country. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so she did give trigger warnings here at the beginning that she felt was very important. So this book contains sensitive content that may be distressing for some readers. That includes SA, which occurs off the page. She says here, it doesn't go into like detail, and it wasn't graphic, but it definitely was addressed or mentioned in the book. Emotional abuse and gaslighting, parental abandonment, kidnapping and abduction, the aftermath of trauma, including anxiety and nightmares. She says, while these events are handled with care and the story focuses on healing, love, and resilience, they may be triggering. Please take care of yourself as you read and skip or pause where necessary. And I would say she did a great job of not going into full detail, but you definitely knew what she was talking about. So as I've read the back of the book, as you can tell, this is a love story between Sade and Lorenzo Tate. And basically reconnecting when they're older. And I think a lot of us, you know, we've experienced that where we've loved someone when we was younger, and then we may have reconnected when we became older adults. And so, what's that song, Back Down Memory Lane? That is what they're doing, going back down memory lane and seeing where this journey takes them this time. And I will say it was the love story, it was very enjoyable. I loved how he loved her. I always like to see people being loved well, I'm not gonna lie. And one thing that stood out to me was the feeling of something feeling too good to be true. And at one point in time, that is how she felt. And that is so relatable when you are on that high and you're reconnecting with someone and everything just seems so perfect and just, I don't know, almost fairy tale-ish. And that's what she's feeling at one point in time in this story. And it's just so relatable because I think we've all gone through that moment where we're looking at our lives or the relationship we're in and everything is just so perfect and it's so ideal. And you're like thinking to yourself, nothing feels better than this. This feels so good. So it felt like a Love Jones type moment or a Poetic Justice type moment when things just come together. I'm trying to make sure I don't give any, details. As I said before, she was very descriptive, which I really loved because it allowed the story to really come alive. You could see it unfolding as you read the pages, which made it a big page turner. And as it said here about, his marriage, he had left his marriage. I found it interesting how people in general can be with you but not really see you and see your value until you're gone. I'll never forget when I was younger, my dad told me, everybody wants you when you're with somebody. But once that's over, watch and see who wants you now. The line is so much longer when you have somebody. It's people coming at you from all directions. But when you're alone, sometimes it's crickets, it's silence, or it's not who you would want it to be. And that's what kind of made me think of when I saw that, how his ex-wife was acting. But what I also liked was how he checked his ex-wife, how he didn't hate her, he wasn't mean to her, he wasn't cruel, but he was just matter of fact. And it reminded me of, we all love each other kind of differently, and everyone can't love you on the level that you desire. Some people can only give you this much because that's all the love they know, whereas someone else may love you like this, and they feel like this should be enough for you, but really this is what you need, or vice versa. And then some people only are willing to love you if you do what they say, how they say it. They give you these rules, and it has to be this way, or there's no love. And so I thought it was interesting when he was having his discussion. It was a reminder of, people can only love you on the level possibly that they have received, or the level that they can love on. But everybody loves on different levels, and what you need, or vice versa, the person may not be able to give it to you because they don't have that level of love within them, and they've never been given it, so they don't know how to give it, and sometimes they don't want to. And so you have to decide for yourself, is that enough? I think that's gonna be it. I guess one more thing that I really loved was how she speaks to parents, and not being so hard on yourself when you're raising your kids. We're not perfect, but you do the best that you can, and you pray for them, and you hope for the best as you guide them, because sometimes you can feel like you're failing your kids by the things you can't give them, or because how their world shifted due to choices that have been made by either you or the other parent that you chose. But you can't see that as a failure. You have to keep going and encouraging yourself, but also your kids, and realizing that that's not a failure. As long as you keep moving forward, you're not failing. You're growing, and you are learning, and you're gonna bounce back as long as you don't stop. And I love this part right here. He said you protected him. You raised him with love and strength and honesty. You gave him a world even when yours was falling apart. As a parent, I felt that line. I felt that. I felt that deeply. That was a really beautiful line. that she placed in the book. And I think that's about it. I think that's all I'm going to give you guys. Again, it is a beautiful love story. It is intricate. It is detailed. And I think it's a reminder of what love can look like and be. And I think it's a beautiful story. And I think that you should definitely check it out. I think it's beautiful. I think one more thing is what I think of is when they talked about being with each other. It made me think about how some people, they just feel like home. Like some relationships that's not only romantic, but also friendships. It's like some people you can just meet and it feels like you've known them forever. And they feel safe. They feel warm. They feel welcoming. And I think that's what this guy felt like for her. He felt like home. He felt, I don't know another word to describe it, like home. And I think we all know what that feels like when we meet someone, whether it's a friend or a romantic relationship. Some people feel like home, and it's not, you never can always put your finger on what it is, but sometimes it's just, they allow you to be exactly who you are with no pretenses, with no, like I said, no pretending. It just feels very natural and organic, and it feels like you can take your walls down. And that's what you do when you get home. You get to get comfortable, take your shoes off, walk around barefooted, dance around, just be free. It's a freeing thing. But anyway, check the book out. It is beautiful. It is written well. There are some parts to me where I wish there would have been a little bit of a different transition when it came to topics. But it still didn't stop the flow of the book. The book was still very well done and good. And I enjoyed every last bit of it as I flipped through the pages. And the front cover here is also just so gorgeous. So anyway, check the book out, pick it up, read it. It's a beautiful autumn read, and it was a great start to my October. Take care. Have an amazing day. Remember, I wish you nothing but inner peace, positivity, and empowerment. Bye. Have a great one.